Now, in a decisive pre-dawn operation, troops of Operation Hadinkai struck terrorist elements in Konduga local government area of Borno State, neutralizing 5 insurgents and rescuing 3 kidnapped civilians. According to a statement by the Joint Task Force, the security operation along a known terrorist route involved coordination with the Civilian Joint Task Force and showcased the military's tactical skill in suppressing insurgents without suffering casualties. Now let's share the story by TVC News' Jesse Tafida with you.
Troops of Operation Hadinkai are keeping the pressure firmly on terrorist elements operating across Borno State. In the early hours of January 4th, 2026, troops working closely with members of the Civilian Joint Task Force launched a targeted operation at a non-terrorist crossing point along the Sojiri axis in Konduga local government area. The operation was swift, precise and decisive. 5 terrorists were neutralized during the engagement, with no casualties recorded on the side of the troops, underscoring the professionalism, coordination and tactical superiority of the security forces. Beyond the neutralization of the terrorists, the operation delivered a major humanitarian gain. 3 civilians abducted by the insurgents were rescued alive, bringing relief to families and communities long traumatized by kidnappings. Troops also recovered AK-47 rifles during the operations, further degrading the fighting capability of the terrorist groups. Military authorities say the success of the operation highlights the importance of sustained collaboration between troops and local security partners, particularly the Civilian Joint Task Force, whose knowledge of the terrain continues to play a critical role. With morale high, Operation Hadinkai says it remains committed to maintaining dominance across the theater, dismantling terrorist networks and ensuring that civilians can live without fear. As security operations continue across Northeast, the message from the troops is clear. Terrorist elements will be relentlessly pursued, civilians will be protected, and peace will not be negotiated but enforced. Jesse Tafida, TVC News, Maiduguri.
All right, Jesse Tafida, thank you so much. I mean, BKO, your thoughts on this story?
Yeah, I'm happy with the progress that we are making. It just, what is usually the case is, even when the military makes a breakthrough, it is not big news. It is, we are always eager to celebrate or make noise about the killing of soldiers. We hardly talk about the killing of these people. And when our soldiers suffer setbacks, the media is excited, the media makes it front page. The rate at which they've killed these boys, honestly, if we report it as much as, even if we report 50% of the killings that the military carry out against these guys, people will begin to pity the terrorists. Because they get strafed, they get bombed, they get killed in firefights, but most of the time, that's not what people want to see. And the enemies of our country, what excites them is to hear that bad things are happening in the country so that they can blame a man who did not create the problem. A man who on his own is trying his best to have this problem solved. The NSA and others, you must give them credit because it is not easy. These are places that I've been to. I know the extent of the problem. I know, for example, that once we are out of Maiduguri, after like 40 kilometers or a little over 30 kilometers, there's no network. So you can't even communicate. Base stations have been destroyed. A good number of those communities, people are even yet to return to them. And even in some communities where people are still staying, means of communication is not really there. So people get killed. The other day I saw our soldiers who were killed by IEDs. Who is talking about them? Who is praising the gallantry of our soldiers, the sacrifices that they are making? All people talk about is, oh, they kidnap people here, oh, Boko Haram struck here. We are happy to talk about things that are negative. When explosives, unexploded ordnance dropped in that community in Sokoto, some so-called analysts who did not have information, they were already analyzing that, oh, the U.S. bomb didn't make any impact, that it just dropped on the farmland and nothing happened. They didn't know that Tangaza, that the boys were slaughtered in Tangaza. It is the residents of Tangaza now who are telling us that they saw that those boys were killed and many of them were fleeing. They thought that was it was only that Yabo was the name of the community where the thing dropped. So our guys are doing their best. This Konduga, there was a day that Boko Haram fighters, they wanted to come in from Konduga to invade Maiduguri. Because as you are leaving Konduga, the road is good right up to the University of Maiduguri, that whole area. They wanted to enter Maiduguri through that place. Consistently, our soldiers were fighting to keep Konduga. On one particular day, they killed 68 Boko Haram fighters laid on the ground. Wow. I can't forget. But these boys, they still kept coming. But Konduga never fell for one day. And it's one of the biggest local governments in our country by landmass. It never fell for one day. Our boys defended Konduga with all they've got. But these guys are hardly celebrated. Now, I'm happy that because it's not the enemy alone that can execute an ambush. This is what we have seen with what happened. That crossing, they got information that they were going to use that crossing. And our troops descended on them like paratroopers. They paid with their lives. We need more of these success stories, more of these breakthroughs on the part of our armed forces.
Absolutely.
Because this enemy can be defeated.
Yes, it can.
And I'm happy with the collaboration with the U.S. now. They are helping us with reconnaissance missions. Those reconnaissance missions will help us to know the locations of these guys. You know, in the Timbuktu Triangle, in the Tumbus of Lake Chad, all of those places, those guys have been doing a lot of sorties, just picking information, actionable intelligence. By the time they begin to act on the intelligence that they had built up over these months, people will see results.
Absolutely.
People will see results. And I commend the NSA, the Director DSS, Director General DSS. They are working together now. That synergy is working.
Absolutely. I mean, BK raised the very well. Do you think the media is adequate, doing enough, adequately highlighting the military successes in security operations?
I think we need to get to a point where we encourage our colleagues to understand the fact that they are also part of the battle against terrorism.
Absolutely.
We have to show, I mean, nobody is spared when terrorism really strikes. We recall the time when media houses were bombed. So we are not immune. As journalists, we are not immune to the terror of terrorists. So knowing that, we have to be part of the battle. Patriotism should also be seen within the media circle. We are Nigerian patriots, and we should not be seen as projecting the enemy above our own fighters, our patriotic soldiers. So when they do well, we should emphasize that. Sometimes you also contribute to instilling terror in the mind of the terrorists by letting the terrorists know that they are really losing out. But if we begin to sensationalize because of certain, I wouldn't even know, for whatever reason, we sensationalize certain pockets of attacks by insurgents, above the great jobs that the soldiers are doing, our security forces are doing, then it doesn't speak well of our role. We are the fourth estate of the realm. And what that means is that we are part of the progress of the country. We are also soldiers defending the country in our own way. We use our pens to defend. But when we write, we should be able to see our patriotism being glaring.
Well, now, where should this change start from? If we want to start, is it from the Guild of Editors? Is it from journalists?
Every journalist, from
every newsroom.
From every newsroom.
Yes. Let us project the successes. They are there.
We are reluctant to project it.
We are putting people in harm's way. These are people with families. They have people to go back home to. But they are out there facing animals. You know, when we're not facing a conventional battle.
Yes,
there is no rule of engagement. So it's not as easy as we are thinking. But these people are still having successes. So what are we doing to support them? We should be patriots.
Absolutely.
That's my own approach to it. I look at it, I wonder when people, and there is a pattern now. Everything that happens will begin to compare to other countries because of this. There is Nigeria.
You know, it took an American rapper to come here and tell us that Nigeria is not as bad as people are portraying it. An American rapper came here in December. Many of our people should be ashamed of them. So it was an American. He said, no, even crime is not as bad in Nigeria as it is in the UK. Look at how many killings happen in Lagos, as sprawling, as big as Lagos is, as populated as Lagos is. Gun crimes, how many do we record in Lagos? But people will try to make it look like Nigeria is the worst place to live in.
We have to have that.
If we have the feeling that Nigeria is the worst place to live in, try to go and live in North Korea now. Try and live in North Korea. Let's see the difference now.
Shalom, Jeremy. Thank you so much for doing this with us. Thank you so much.
New Year.
And Happy New Year to you as well. I love your outfit. Thank you so much.
His cap reminds me of MK Abiola's cap. Hope 93.
Exactly. BKO, thank you so much for your analysis as always. Thank you so much. And that's it on Journalist Hangout today. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. You can watch the repeat broadcast of this episode tonight at 11. Join us on Sunday from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. for Journalist Hangout on Sunday. We are on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I am Benga. Bye for now, and God bless Nigeria.